Hey, you two.
Happy Valentine's Day. You two, you get our happy Valentine's Day twice, because when we start recording, we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
So
Aren't you lucky? We bring this amazing content to you.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to go to the garage band.
Okay. I am ready. Tell me when this. Oh, can I do the count this time?
Yes, you can. But
okay.
Also, I just have to tell you how idiotic I've been. On GarageBand, I just realized there's like a setting where I've been having it be like I'm recording music, and you can it says
not
like
the voice one.
Well, no, I have the voice. I have the voice, but I didn't realize I can change it to time, so it has a timer.
Oh, that's so nice. This whole time.
So anyway, I just figured that out. Isn't that hilarious?
That is funny.
That is such a very Claudia thing to do. Okay, are you ready? And I guess a B thing to do too. Okay,
yeah, I would totally do that. Ready?
Okay, you count down. You count down.
Okay, go ahead. Hit record in 3, 2, 1. Okay, and let's get the clap ready. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hello, welcome everybody to another episode of Tea with Claudia and B. That's B.
And that's Claudia.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's. Happy Love Day. Or Single Awareness Day. Or Let's Get Married in Secret Day. Whichever one you go with.
I've been feeling fine, baby. I'm feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby. So we're wearing these glasses, and we're probably not going to wear them for the whole thing, because let's be real.
Definitely not.
When we start to read our notes, we're going to be like cross-eyed. But those of you who are listening and not watching, we're wearing these really cute pink sunglasses. Oh,
they're so great.
They're so cute. Mine are heart-shaped. Hers are circles.
Yes, I look like I'm from the 60s with circle rose-colored glasses. They're awesome.
Cute. And shout out to my sister-in-law, Erica, who actually lives in Spokane, where B lives, actually. Oh. She got me these earrings. So
those are cute. I don't know how you're wearing them with the headphones on. That would drive me nuts, but they look really cute on you.
They're super like soft earrings. They're not hard. So like they don't hurt.
Okay, that's great. What are you drinking? Do you have a tea or a beverage?
I do have a beverage. I don't have a tea tonight. I don't know why.
Gosh, I have places. Normally you have the tea and I have water.
I know, right? I think I was just like frantically trying to like finish our like assignments for like this episode, that I just was like totally like whatever. So I actually have a Diet Pepsi, and then I have a water. So, but they're both in pink cups, because I'm just a pink person. So
You're so pink. Okay, do you want to know a secret? When I was growing up, I hated the color pink.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like my mom's first girl, and I got a lot of girly stuff, and I just remember hating the color pink. Like I was looking at a pink crayon one time when I was like 5, and I was like, I hate this crayon so much, I want to break it. Like I hated pink.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't until I was like 25 that I was like, actually, it's an okay color. I like it now. So now I embrace pink, but for most of my life, I have not liked it.
So I'm like overwhelming though, because I am like pink. Like I'm like Glinda and Elwood's mixed together.
You are, which is fine. But I just didn't like pink for some reason. I don't know what it was. Now I love it though. Yeah. So that's cool. I also have water. I also have a nice little mix of like Postum and hot chocolate, which is
what's Postum?
It's like a tea. It's like a barley tea.
Oh,
that
sounds weird.
Good. It's really good. I like it. It's nice it's a nice cozy drink, but
okay. You know. I love her. You guys, her mug is really cute. Her mom got it for her, and it has like a bee on it. Not like a buzz bee, but like a bee, like insect. An A-B, like an A-B. Yeah.
A, B, C, D. Yeah, my mom got me this, and she actually was so cute. She brought it, and she was like, I thought you could use it when you're recording your episodes. And I was like, so Mom, look at me now, Mom. I'm doing it.
Okay, you guys. So this week we're talking about 2 cool little Emma things.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess I should say big Emma things because it took a lot longer.
It's so hard to watch these things. I'm taking off my glasses.
I know. Yeah, I probably should too. Woo. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can see everything. I can see clearly now.
Lorraine is gone. Who's Lorraine? Okay.
So, okay, we watched the new Emma, the 2020 Emma.
Mm-hmm.
And we also watched Emma Approved, which is a YouTube series. If you guys are, any of you are familiar with like the Lizzie Bennett diaries, it's like that, but it's like the Emma version. So that's how they kind of did it. So we're just going to talk about that today. And, but before we do, let's do our weekly obsession.
We need to come up with a song for that. That would be great.
I know. Like now it's time for our weekly obsession. That's sounds like a lot of work to like try and get that and then have to like always hit it and then you know what I'm saying, and then
I know
we'll figure it out. We're gonna find some like really great producer guy really that one of us is gonna date.
We dream
and
big, don't we?
He'll be like, oh, I'll just edit that in for you guys, and we'll be like, oh, thank you so
like,
much.
Don't worry, girl, I got you. I know what you want. It's gonna be great.
Oh, it'll be great. Okay, so I don't remember who went first last time.
Oh, I don't either. What's that important?
I know. So, I guess my weekly obsession, honestly, has just been, since it's taken so long, has been watching Emma Approved again because it's the second round that I've watched it. Mm-hmm. So I've been just kind of obsessed with like watching that and like just really enjoying it, and I don't know. I just love it. I always cry when I watch it, like, especially towards the end when everyone's getting together and.
Aww. I know that one's so cute. That's a good obsession because this one, that took up our week.
No. I completely forgot how long it was because last time I watched it, I wasn't like in any hurry. I just would like be like, oh, I'm gonna watch it tonight and like for an hour, and then like I would like continue to watch it. But this time, like I was like, okay, crap, now I have to like think I need to have this done by a certain time. Okay, and I just
I know. I could watch hours of any show when there's not a deadline, but suddenly when there's a deadline, it's like, what? Like,
yeah.
I swear, Claudia, you give me a deadline and I suddenly become inept. I like can't finish things. I don't know what it is. I know. I need to go to a therapist.
What I should have done is like, I should have been like, okay, start watching Emma Approved, like, you know, like 3 weeks ago. And then we would have been fine. It's okay.
That's fine. It was fun. I mean, I like the intensity of having to cram at the last minute sometimes. So it's my own fault.
Oh my God.
That's a good one. Mine's a little off brand. Yours is very on brand for this episode. But because I was procrastinating, I started watching a new show this week when I should have been watching Emma Approved, which is called Yellowstone. And I've heard so much stuff about it. There's like 3 episodes out.
Oh, is that like Yellowstone, like the park?
No, it's a ranch. It's like a cowboy-ish Montana thing. But there's a ranch that is called the Yellowstone Ranch.
Oh, because I was thinking of Yellowstone National Park.
Which is a great assumption. That's what I first thought too. But now having watched it, I know. It's really good. It's like one of those shows though, where you're just not sure who you're supposed to be rooting for because everyone's kind of awful. You know what I mean? Like everyone's kind of bad in it, or everyone's kind of selfish and trying to get their own stuff. And so you're like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to keep watching. And my true obsession is Luke Grimes in it, who plays Casey Denton.
That sounds familiar.
Oh my gosh, he is so fine. He is so hot. And he's kind of like a little tormented cowboy. Oh my gosh, I can't even.
Oh, that's cute. Women love the tormented crap.
We do.
You know what I mean?
Why? But it's fun. Anyway, he is beautiful. He can ride a horse like an artist paints a picture, and he's great. Love it.
I love it when a man can ride a horse.
I wish I was a better horse rider than I am. I get scared of them a little bit.
I'm really scared of it too. I mean, because all the accidents that happen on horses, like Christopher Reeve, like
I know. If they got Superman, they can clearly get me too.
I know, right? Speaking of Christopher Reeve, I love the movie Somewhere in Time. Have you seen that?
Oh my gosh, yes. That is such a heartbreaking movie.
Good. I should have watched that today, but I was watching Emma and Emma approved, so
we didn't have time to watch anything else today.
No.
It's true though, that movie that gets you because they use that classic piece of song, and then when you hear that composition composed,
it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful.
Jane Seymour is flawless.
Mm-hmm. She is. I've been told I've looked like her, and I'm like, tell me again. Like, yes.
Who did you say? That's a huge compliment, but I can see it. You have like a very similar bone structure in your face. I like it.
Thank you.
Should I just call you Jane?
Is it? That'd be great. I love that name. So I dated this guy, and like we watched the movie together a lot. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, and so we would go on runs together, and I was obsessed with the Is It You, Is It? And I actually got him a watch that said like, Is It You, Is It? Because like of time. And so anyway, I'm really good at gifts. Anyway, so we like went on a run, and he like he's an actor like me. So he's like super, he knows all the things that I would like. Yeah. So he like stands by a tree. And then like I walk up, and then I'm like, is it you? Is it? Like we had that moment, and it was like, oh my God.
That's funny.
I know. It was
funny. I love it when somebody's willing to ham it up or be silly with you. It's the best.
I know. It is the best. Yeah. It was pretty cute. But we will not delve into that because that will be a slippery slope. Because after Is It You, Is It? It was like, ooh.
Wait, what happened? I'm just
okay.
Just kidding.
So shall we dive into our topic?
Let's do this.
Okay, perfect. So what are we starting with?
Oh, which one? I don't know. How about Emma 2020?
Okay. All right, let's do it. Okay. Emma 2020. Okay. So my first note for this one is I loved the opening. I thought the opening was gorgeous. With the just the simplicity of this first line of the book, and then opening up with her waking up in the morning and getting flowers from Mrs. Weston or Miss Taylor at the time. And then I loved that scene with her and Miss Taylor the day before she gets married, like, because that's not really in, like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't watched the version we're watching next week, which is my favorite in a long time, but I don't remember there being like a scene with her and Miss Taylor like that in any of the others.
Yeah, I think that is unique to this movie, and I also really liked that. It was kind of a nice tender moment of like, aw, her kind of showing that she was like a little sad.
I know. It was really sweet. It was really sweet. So, and then I loved that her name, Emma, and then she walks down the hallway through her name.
Okay, I really liked that too. I noticed that when I was watching it, that I was like, it's so just like modern. It was so fitting for like the aesthetic that we go for now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, I really liked it too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What happened?
I just knocked something over. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Pay no attention.
Oh my
god. Okay, so I think okay, overall, I'm just gonna say this because I feel like this will just make it easier to talk about all the other details because I have all the notes, but overall, I feel like this is the comedy version of Emma.
Oh, 100%. I actually felt like I was watching a theater production.
Yes. Like they do so many little things to make you notice just kind of how silly things could be back then, and I think I like that because I do feel like Jane Austen writes that a lot, where she kind of talks about the and the dialogue and like the things that they're talking about and like the important decisions that factor in and all this stuff. It's like, wow, it really is just such a funny little society setup, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
so in the movie, I think that they did such a good job of just making things really comical and silly.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have that as much with the other movies. Like they bring elements of like humor in for sure, but it's also very like dignified and pretty and all this stuff. And so with this one, I feel like they just leaned really heavy on the comedy side of it, which I actually really liked. And
the comedy, and I loved the colors were beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it is so aesthetically pleasing. This movie
Mm-hmm.
is so
yeah
pretty.
So I feel like I have a basket that would be like perfect for the movie.
Oh yes, you did. That's cute.
It's a heart basket, you guys.
Look at
and
this
it's
basket.
like, yeah, it's so cute. And there's like, it has really pretty flowers painted on the side. So anyway, this should be in the movie. But
I know. I even wrote that down. I was like, the sets, love them. I want to live in that house. Like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
Well, and I remember seeing like some behind the scenes. I remember watching it with my mom when I watched this over Christmas, and the director's a photographer, and so she like really like, and I can tell by like that she is a photographer because it was all about the pictures. But also the costume designer, she was talking about how we forget how colorful things probably would have been back then, because the things that are from that time period right now are super faded. Like the clothes and all of that are faded because of the time. So I think that's why the clothes were a lot brighter.
And I think they did a really good melding in the costume and the hair and the makeup and everything of like what it probably really was back then, but having a little bit of like detail that we would appreciate, you know? That would catch our modern eye. I really liked that. I thought that was cool. I thought her hair was awesome, and really, it wasn't like a modern version of something. It was like, we're really going to actually do their hair back in the day, you know?
Yeah. And I do really like that they showed her and then Mr. Knightley like getting ready a lot. Like I just appreciated like them, like watching them get dressed and stuff. Like,
isn't it the weirdest thing to watch like a gentleman get dressed back in the day?
It is weird. Yeah, it is weird. And I know
I'm like actually sitting there having somebody put on their socks and you're like, that's so funny.
It is weird. It is funny. It is interesting. But I will say, so I'm not complaining about this.
I think I know what you're not complaining about.
We're already skipping ahead because we already are talking about undressing and stuff. But okay. Loved the butt, obviously, like of course, but I just don't feel like that is like wasn't necessary for Mr. Knightley.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I am not opposed to showing a butt every once in a while, but like I just don't see what it added, and it seems kind of out of line with the rest of the movie. It did, you know,
like for example in Romeo and Juliet with the version not the Leo and Claire Danes one, but the older one with the guy that looks like Zac Efron and the girl with the really long black hair. I can't remember. My mom actually saw that 13 times in theaters when it came out, which is so cute. Anyway,
it's cute.
There's like, he stands up in that movie after they had sex for the first time because they just got married, and his butt is showing, and that is actually more appropriate, I think, to the scene. But like with Mr. Knightley, it's just he's just getting changed. Like it's not even like they're on their honeymoon. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I think the context does matter. For me, I feel like there's certain moments where I'm like more offended, for lack of a better word, watching a movie where there's nudity, because I'm just like, I don't see what the point of that is. It's almost like they're just finding a reason to show nudity. You know?
And it's not even like Mr. Knightley is not that kind of guy. Like if it were Frank Churchill, I'd be like, okay. Like,
right? No, he's not like a sex symbol. He's like a heart symbol. Or heart medicine.
Like I don't know. I
feel like Deborah Carr, who was in An Affair to Remember, Carr, whatever her last name was, however you say it. She was actually really outspoken about that. She would always have debates with directors about showing any nudity or anything like that. She's like, if it makes sense for the part, I'm fine with it, but I will not add that if it doesn't make sense. Because there was like a scene where she was married and she and her husband were in bed together, and so she like was obviously undressed in bed. And she was fine with that. And a director later was trying to get her to do a scene where she was like going to be scantily clad. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, you're fine with it. I've seen it in other movies. And she's like, it makes sense in other movies. Like, that's not like she always argued that. And I just love the point she makes with it, where if it's actually in good context and bringing value to the story, okay. Like,
well, and maybe if they would have shown, if they would have maybe had like a contrast with in the scene with like maybe Emma getting ready, and then we maybe saw Emma's butt, and then it was like, oh, this is like the butt scene. I don't know.
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Like, I don't know, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, there just wasn't, it was just to see a cute butt, and like, I'm not complaining because like it was a nice butt, but like,
I agree. I think that was a little weird. The music also I liked, but I didn't like. There were times that it bugged me.
Yeah. Well, and that's again, like the thing, I just literally felt like it was like a theater production. Like I was expecting people to like come out and sing like during scene changes. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. I actually, now that you mentioned that, that really makes a lot of sense with the movie.
Yeah. That's what I felt like when I heard the singing. I was like, this is like this could totally be like on the stage.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. But the aesthetic value, even with the butt scene, is so beautiful.
It is beautiful. So beautiful. I love how Emma, like when Mr. Knightley comes, how she just like jumps on the piano. How she's trying to be like, I'm practicing, and like she like never practices, like never practices.
Okay, I think so. This depiction of Emma, I think she was such a brat in this one. Like more so than other ones.
Yeah, she probably was directed that way for sure.
No, I think very much so, because I feel like they were trying to make a point of like her snobbery above anything else in this one, which I get. Like that's kind of like the obvious flaw of Emma, but I don't know. It makes it harder for me to like connect with her and enjoy her, because I enjoy Emma's character and all the other ones. And this one, it was like, I enjoyed the story and everything surrounding it. I didn't enjoy Emma as much. So I kind of, that's one thing about this one that I don't like as much.
And when she's like a super snob, it kind of makes it hard for you to like Knightley too, because you're like, why do you like her?
It becomes one of those dumb stories where it's like, oh great, the good guy ends up with the bad girl, or the bad girl ends up with the good guy. I just said the same scenario, just opposite. But you know what I mean? Like, those movies where you're like, why are you teaching, like, if you're the jerk, then you get what you want, And I think that's the point of Emma, that it wasn't until she kind of like, she just had little things that were pointing her in a really bad direction. And with this one, they definitely made Emma more of the snob and more like annoyed. Like halfway through the movie, I was like, I feel like she's not actually, I feel like she's just always annoyed with Harriet. And that was one thing that in the book, she really loves Harriet. She really likes her. And that's kind of her motivation in getting her married to some like amazing guy, because she's like, she likes Harriet enough that she's like, well, clearly she has to be a gentleman's daughter because she has a high opinion of her, and Emma was just annoyed with everyone in this movie. So I get it. I get what they were doing with it. I just don't enjoy it as much as the other ones.
I know. I don't either. It's okay. There are other things that I liked about it though. Like I liked the two servants were like the best part of the show. And I say because it literally was like a theater production. Like, you know what I mean? So funny. And Mr. Woodhouse in this was so hilarious.
Oh, Mr. Woodhouse is my favorite. He is so funny in this one.
I love that actor. I love that actor too. Like, he's great.
Really good.
He is hilarious.
I totally agree with you too about the servants. Like, I love how they use the servants to be just add comical moments. It's so good. They like from the maids when she and Knightley start arguing, being like, we're just setting everything down and walking out, or to like the footmen and how they're always like pausing, not sure what to do.
And another thing I really liked about it is I really enjoyed watching Mr. Knightley and Emma argue through the house, like how they would just like go through the house and argue. It just felt a little more real in those moments of being like, oh. And then I also liked seeing her drop her shawl in the middle of the hallway, like that stuff. And then him like, him being in distress and like laying down just in the middle of his estate because he lives alone. So
I actually did really like that. It was kind of a humanizing moment for those characters.
So I liked seeing moments like that in this version that I feel like in other versions you don't really see as much. Yeah.
I agree. I was thinking that I made a note of that when the scene when Harriet is at the school and they're playing that game with the flower that they make the mold and the coin.
I need to look that up. That's
okay.
Cool.
You know, it's so funny. I played that game when I was a kid. We would like play that for family nights. Yeah. And I've always like played it with other friends and just introduced it to them of being like, oh, it's this like funny little game. You do this. And then watching them, I was like, oh, I played that game. That's so funny.
That is cool. I never heard of it.
I know it really is like a silly, my dad taught it to us and I think it was like one of those old fashioned games that's passed on. But I mean, clearly Emma's time was playing it, but I love when they're able to do a telling of an Austen story and kind of add in scenes or elements of everyday life that aren't just sitting there reading a book or playing whist or embroidering. Yes. Like there's just different things, you know?
Yeah. And I love this version. I love that they added the girls in the school, because that's not very common in the other ones, and how they all loved Emma and thought she was like really cool and like which I feel like was very realistic, you know, at the time, is that they all would be like, oh my gosh, Emma, like she's the popular girl in Highbury, you know, oh my god.
Yeah, they're all like smitten with her.
Yeah, that's it's super cute. I am sad though that Harriet wasn't a blonde.
I get you.
Because it's just one of those things. I don't know. It's okay. But she was really cute. But like, it was interesting though. You know how I said in the Gwyneth Paltrow version that Mr. Elton is like, bam, right away in the beginning. In this version, the first words out of her mouth, Harriet's mouth, are about Robert Martin.
Oh yeah.
So that was interesting. True. Yeah.
Wait, Robert Martin or Mr. Elton?
No, Harriet's first like words that she talks about are the Martins. She talks about the Martins to Emma. Like that's one of the first things she says.
That's true. She definitely gives more of, they play up the smitten about Martin.
More. Yeah. And that's the thing. I really liked seeing her and Robert kiss. That was sweet.
I loved that scene. I thought that was the sweetest, just most pure scene ever. So cute.
It is sweet.
Okay, can we just talk about how they have such a good cast in this movie?
Yeah, it is a good cast.
They I think Mr. Woodhouse, I think does the best depiction. I think the writing for him is so good. And then even like Mr. Weston, the guy who plays Mr. Weston, is just so good. And like the little moments where they like come up with the solution for the first dance, and he's like, I'll ask Mrs. Elton. Like, it's obviously, you know, they're just so cute. I really loved them. So I really appreciated the cast in this one.
I like Mrs. Weston too. She was very sweet.
Yeah.
Now I'm reading the book right now. I'm on volume 2, chapter 9. So it's like but I can't remember in the book, did Mrs. Weston get pregnant in the book?
Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember. I imagine that she does, because they never really talk about it in a lot of the other versions. And so I noticed that in this one, and I was like, because in Emma Approved as well, the parallel of she gets pregnant as well. So I'm like thinking, you know what I mean? I'm like, so it'll be interesting to see when I read it again.
Yeah.
That part. I imagine that she does, because I can't imagine why, because a lot of versions take things out. So I see that, but I can't imagine why they would like add something. You know what I'm saying? Something
that's true.
That trivial.
Maybe she does. I don't really remember. We'll find out at the end of the month, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I just can't remember.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, so for the cast, they have Bill Nighy. Is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Bill Nighy as Mr. Woodhouse, and he's so good. And then Miss Taylor, Gemma Whelan. I don't know what else she's in, but she's the cutest.
She looks familiar. I looked her up, and like I think I've seen her in other things. I just can't remember.
I love her.
Yeah.
And she just looks like you want to be her friend. So I really like the casting for that. Yeah. You're like, oh, you are drawn to her. Like, how Emma is. And then Mr. Bates or Mrs. Bates. She is so funny. I know. I don't like the people they choose for Miss Bates in most of the adaptions.
Oh, really?
The Gwyneth Paltrow one is my favorite, but I actually really liked the girl that they chose for this one, Miranda.
I love that
Hart.
they made her very tall. I thought that. Well,
Yes.
I mean, they cast her very tall, and then her mom really short was like a good like.
Yeah. So I love Miranda Hart. She like. Do you watch Call the Midwife?
I don't know. I've seen like an episode, I think.
It's so good. She's in it though, and she's like so cute. And I know there's a lot of other BBC shows she's on, but I really liked her. I thought she did a good job of being like, just annoying in that sense where it's like almost endearing, but still annoying, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was good. Can I talk about how Frank Churchill looks like a frat boy?
Oh my gosh. Okay, what are your thoughts on Churchill in this episode?
He was great
this season.
He was like he did a great job. I mean, he just literally looked like a frat boy, and I just like thought that was so perfect for his character.
That is very Frank Churchill. I think it's Colum Turner in this one.
Yeah,
I didn't
frat
like
boy
him.
Frat boy central.
Oh, I think you're 100% right on there. I just didn't like him. I thought he played Frank very boring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like.
And something interesting with reading the book this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know that whole like scene where they talk about all the time where where Jane Fairfax gets saved by Mr. Dixon, like on the boat.
Yes.
Frank is there, like in the scene in the book. Frank is like, I was there, but in the versions, they're all like, he acts like nothing happened, but in the book, he's like, oh, I was there.
Really?
Yes. And I was like, what the heck? Yeah, he was there. That. I know. And so I was reading it, and I was like, he just said that he was like, he explained it to Emma, like saying that we were all like shocked and like took a while to calm down from that. Mm-hmm. I'm just interested in that love triangle. I just don't know if it's a love triangle or not. I don't know if Mr. Dixon like and Jane had a thing and then Frank hopped in on the scene, but I don't know.
How did Frank win Jane? That's like the most
confusing
thing to me.
That's the thing that I'm wondering though, if she her heart got broken and that she couldn't marry Mr. Dixon because he chose her friend over her because of the birth. So maybe she's like, oh well, Frank is here, and Frank couldn't marry Jane at first, and why they kept it a secret because he would have lost all of his inheritance if he and then so that's why when his mom died, he was like, oh, by the way, I'm engaged. Here's my new theory on Frank Churchill. Okay.
Let me hear it.
I think that he was testing the waters with Emma in case his mom like stayed around for longer than he thought. Because he was testing the waters to see if they would work well together. And then to see if maybe he should just have to settle for her instead of with Jane. I think he was testing the waters.
That's a very interesting theory. And I don't think I would argue that, actually.
Right? Doesn't that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. Because like if he was forced into marrying somebody and had to break off his engagement, she would probably be a good choice because they didn't like his mom's family didn't like Mr. Weston because he was like newer money and like more had earned a lot of his wealth through trade. So they had that snobbery side that they would have liked the Woodhouses because they were old family, you know? So that makes sense. Maybe that could explain his bad behavior sometimes.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I think Emma would have said no, but I think he was like just trying to test the waters to see how they would be together.
That's interesting. Okay. Good insight there. I like that. What are your thoughts and feelings on Mr. Elton in this one?
So funny.
Josh O'Connor plays such a good Elton. They do such a good job of making him ridiculous.
He is hilarious. I just can't, like when he like is proposing to her in the carriage and he's like opening up his
creepiest proposal scene out of all Emma's. He's like a predator in there. Like
he like opens up his cape or his coat and he's like
it's so awkward. He's like doing like the look down where he's like tilting his face down and then looking up Like, it's so creepy. I was watching that and I was just like, ew.
I know.
But yes, he's so good in this one.
He is hilarious.
And I have to say that proposal scene where he proposes to Emma and she turns him down, I actually felt bad for him because she was so condescending that I was like, oh my gosh, poor guy's so embarrassed. And I was thinking about it when I was reading the book this month too, of how he like tries to do everything geared towards Emma, but she always interprets it geared towards
Harriet.
Towards Harriet. That's like really embarrassing for him to be like, you thought this whole time Harriet, like, oh my gosh. And maybe that this is giving him a little more grace than maybe he deserves, but maybe that's like why he was like, everyone has their level, because he's so frustrated being like, Emma, why would you think I would go for Harriet? I'm obviously going for you, you know? Like, yeah, that's kind of sucks. That was a bad position for him, but still he was a jerk about it. So.
Oh yeah. And he could have handled it with a lot more grace than how he did. I just want to say, I love how when Emma and Knightley fight, how the maids just like scatter.
It's so funny. I love that. They do, like, that is the funniest things. I love people's reactions in this movie. Like when the scene when they're at the party and Emma's playing on the piano and everyone like loves her. And then Jane Fairfax goes up to play and she's all like, oh,
they're like, what? They have their fans.
Yes.
They're getting hot. Like
that scene is so good because she and Harriet sit down and she's like, nobody plays like you. And she's all like cutesy. And then Jane starts playing amazing. And they're both just like, their eyes like get wide and they react funny. I thought it was so good. I really loved that element of the movie.
I did.
I in all honesty, when I first watched this movie, I didn't like it at all. But rewatching it this week, I was like, you know, it's not my favorite Emma, but I really love the comedy of it. And
I do too. I love the comedy, and I really do feel like it's like would do like if they wanted to make this into like a stage version, it would do so well.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you're right on the money with this being like very theatrical.
Yeah,
very good.
Very, very theatrical for sure. The frame with the music is just with the likeness is just so ridiculous. Like I can't.
So in this one, they get Mr. Elton goes to get the frame, and it's like a box frame that you open and it plays music, and then you see the likeness that Emma's drawn, and it is just so.
Oh my gosh, it is just so silly.
They make everything like over the top in this one, you know.
So funny. It is really funny. Okay, so what are your thoughts on Knightley?
You know, he's not my favorite at all.
Me neither.
Actually, I think he did fine for this movie, but I don't like him as Knightley. I almost look at it as a little different version of Emma. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if it was like we talked about how she was a lot snobbier in this movie. That made me not take him fall in love with him as hard as I normally fall in love with Mr. Knightley.
Yeah.
Because he just seemed, I don't know if it was because his hair was like super messy.
I know, I didn't like that. I wish that they'd kind of like
refined his hair a little bit more. Yeah. And or also I was thrown off by, and I know that it's not a big deal, I was thrown off by that he was so short.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't know why that bothered me.
Because Knightley is such a stately figure, you know, like he's such a moral person that I feel like he just has to be like a big, almost imposing man.
Yeah, I know. And so I just, maybe it was a combination of that. He's a cute guy, but I just didn't like fall head over heels like I normally do with Mr. Knightley.
Yeah, he was a little scruffier than I would have liked. And I did like how they kind of played up his and Emma's connection more. I thought that was really good, like a nice build of tension, you know. But he kind of, I don't know, he wasn't the greatest. I think for this version he fit it very well, but he's definitely like pretty low down on my and ladder of Knightleys.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they also showed him crying a lot, I feel like. like a lot more than like normal. And so I kind of felt like, I don't know, it was just interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting decision in casting.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if maybe it was the direction that he was given, So I don't know. I do think that.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, what's that ring that he's playing with? I always want to know what that ring is.
I don't know. I was wondering that too.
Yeah.
I have heard from the Jane Austen groups that I follow, there's so many people that really love the Knightley in this one, which, what's his name? Johnny something.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Flynn.
Remember. Yeah.
So a lot of people just are like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. He's so hot. And I'm like, I feel like he could be hot in certain costumes and circumstances, but I don't think he was hot as Mr. Knightley. And maybe that's why I don't like him as much, because I just think he was okay.
He was a little too disheveled, I think. Yeah. I think if he, I agree. Know.
Yeah. I did like though how they played up his friendship with Robert Martin though, of them like spending time together. I thought that was a cool like added character thing.
That was sweet. Very sweet. Yeah. This definitely kind of was like a cartoon Emma, like very cartoony.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Also, did you notice a Pride and Prejudice called in the Colin Firth version cast member in this version?
Who?
Mrs. Reynolds, like I guess one of his Mr. Knightley's maids is Mary Bennett in the.
Shut up! Really?
Yeah. I know.
Mary. That's so funny.
Isn't that cute? Because she's the one that's like, Mr. Knightley, like you're walking on foot, like you need to go on carriage, and he's like, no,
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Of course, she would be the one that's like, it's odd for a gentleman to do this. That's funny. Yeah. Wow, good eye. I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about Mr. Knightley. I think something else that threw me off about it was when they're at the party and like he's singing and playing violin. I don't know. It just threw me off a little bit.
Because I guess that would seem kind of different from Mr. Knightley's character from the book and from all the other versions we've seen. But I guess that was them like playing up the Jane, Mr. Knightley pairing that for a minute you think might happen, I love his dislike for Churchill in this version, and how they really show that a lot, where he's like put off by him. And I laughed so hard at the scene where he's talking about Churchill and how he doesn't like him to Emma. And what does he say? I wrote it down. He says, he's talking about Churchill and he's like, he's a trifling silly fwop.
I
just think that's the funniest like thing you could call somebody.
I know. And it's good. And it's just, the thing is like, okay, Frank Churchill does not think with his head. He thinks with something else, which a lot of guys think with, because the only time that he freaking shows up to see his dad is when there's a woman involved that he wants to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It really, you really do see his flaws. Like he is lacking in character and like,
yeah. Well, and I liked how Harriet said he was with Jane in Weymouth in October, and she goes, that was Mrs. Weston's wedding month.
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh, so you weren't even home. You were okay traveling, but you didn't travel here.
Like, what the heck?
I thought that was a good added scene as well.
Like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
totally messed up.
Awful.
I really loved the ball scene. That
was beautiful,
where like it's the ball for Churchill's honor, and they're kind of like welcoming the Eltons as a married couple and things like that. There were just so many elements in every scene where I was like, oh, they got this good. Like they had the details of like Emma dancing and her conversation with Churchill, and in the background you can see Mr. Elton like watching her dance, and like there's just so many little things that I really loved. I thought that was really fun.
And every time, I mean, even with this Knightley, every time that Knightley dances with Harriet, my heart just soars.
Yes, that is such an endearing scene for like the moment of being like, oh, you are a good man because you care about somebody's comfort and feeling included, you know. It's
I know.
So good.
I can't.
Keep it together, Claudia.
I can't with Mr. Knightley. He's just too good.
He really is. It's wonderful.
Yeah, he is just like amazing. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes just to make sure. We can edit this out, but or I can edit this out because I'm editing this week.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It's yours. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, okay. I did put that it was weird that in the movies they don't make it clear that Frank was there during the water scene. I don't understand.
Yeah, that is so funny.
Yeah, it is weird. And then okay, I really want the mirror in Emma's room, like really bad. Like I want that. Oh my gosh,
mirror. Yeah. I want her whole room.
I loved that room. I loved everything about the aesthetic about it. Mm-hmm. My favorite dress that she wears is the green and white dress that she wears when like her and Mr. Knightley, like he's like, I love you, blah, 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 blah. And then her nosebleed, that's my favorite dress.
That scene is weird to me. I don't see what the point of the nosebleed is.
I don't either. And then again, the theater, it's like a exaggeration. I think they just wanted something exaggerated. But I did really enjoy that Emma apologized to Robert.
Yes. I liked that a lot.
A good take. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
And then I love the draft stuff, like with Mr. Woodhouse.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And the screens they move around. I thought that was so funny.
Can you imagine Mr. Woodhouse in 2020?
Oh no, with the corona, he would have such a hard time.
Oh, he would freak out. And that's the thing is, like, in your devotional today, you were talking about how he is, I think he fusses and he worries is because he doesn't have his wife anymore. It's like really sad.
Yeah.
You know? So he doesn't have his wife to fuss over and worry about. And so I don't know.
And maybe even that's like a cause of some of his worry, you know, like,
yeah. Yeah, but I did really love the part when Isabel and John are leaving, and Mr. Woodhouse is like, "Oh, poor Isabella, Emma, you must never leave me." And I'm like, "Oh," it just made me think about like my daddy, if like that ever happened to my mom, and like, oh, you know what I mean? It just was like, of course I can never leave my daddy, you know, like it's just super sweet.
Well, I think that actually was a good point in this one where maybe you saw her lack of motivation to get married because she so desperately didn't want to put her dad in the position she had seen him go through when her sister got married. And on that note, I love how they had her sister and brother-in-law come and visit and like the chaos they brought and the craziness. That. So funny. And the scene when they're at Randall's for Christmas dinner. And then Mr. Elton says something about it might snow tonight, and it's like,
and everyone's like,
chaos. Or Mr. Woodhouse is like, what if it snows? It snowed the day your mother died. Like all the things.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh.
That broke my heart too. You know, like that just broke my heart. I just feel bad for Mr. Woodhouse too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Super sweet. Okay, so there's a scene with John and Isabella, and they're like leaving, and she's like, where's his mormor? And she's like, we are not stopping for a mormor. And I'm like, what is a mormor?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't know what that was. I thought that too when he's like, we're not stopping at all, and I was like, huh?
What's a mormor? I don't know.
Is that their binky back in the day?
I know. I loved the arguments though about the milk and like all of that, because honestly, like I feel for them. I can't imagine traveling. Like it's hard traveling with that many kids today with our modern conveniences. I can imagine being in a freaking bumpy carriage trying to give them milk. Like
that would be so
bumpy.
annoying.
Like talk about like it's literally like this.
It's like you're on a jungle gym traveling down the road.
And you have like a baby and you're like, oh my gosh.
Rock that baby to sleep. Yeah, I think that this one is so fun because there's so many little things that you can catch in every scene. So I like it for that a lot. Even though I don't love some of the direction they took on some of the characters, it's a really like, there's a lot of little elements and fun things to look. So
yeah, I think they need to make this a stage version, and then it needs to.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because I think it would be hilarious to do on the stage. You know,
okay,
that would be fun. Yeah,
you
and I
can be Emma, I'll be
months.
Harriet.
Wait, hold on. What did you say? Because you cut out. I can be Emma and you can be what?
You can be Emma, I'll be Harriet.
Ah! That's funny because I was thinking you'd be a good Emma because your eyes are brown. And I think she is supposed to have brown eyes, isn't she?
Okay, well, let's change it then. I'll be Emma, you be Harriet.
Or we'll just have like a director pick for us and see which ones we're better at.
We'll both audition. They can make the decision.
Yeah,
I guess
they'll make the decision and we'll figure it out.
And then we'll shine.
Yes, exactly. And we'll just have to make sure that whoever is cast as Robert and Mr. Knightley are honeymoon bodies.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes without saying, obviously.
Well, but also something about Emma that I love is the weather. And I love that they did the different the months and showed us what month it was. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I really liked that too. It was good.
So
very good.
Okay, so shall we? We're at 49 minutes, so we can switch gears real quick to Emma Approved and then wrap it up. So
sounds good.
Okay, you guys, Emma Approved. If you guys haven't seen it, you should. It's adorable.
It really is.
It's if you're familiar with Lizzie Bennet Diaries, it's basically just like a video like vlog, but it's like modern day and it's adorable.
It's fun. I had never watched it. You told me about it and I started watching it. And at first I was like, I don't know, not really into it. But after a little bit, I really enjoyed it. It just took a minute for me. Like it took several episodes of watching like the story kind of get going before I was like, okay, I get it. And this is cute. But it's so funny.
It's cute. It is funny. And I'm like super obsessed with the Mr. Knightley in this.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He is freaking adorable.
Like, I follow him on Instagram and I'm like, hey, Brent Bailey, what's up?
Yeah, he's so cute. He like has a really good combo between like this, like the cute little adoring side where he really likes Emma. And then also the other side where he's like, you're freaking crazy. Like get it together. You know, I really like that.
I love him so much. Yeah. And so him and then the actress is, so I have the cast list up.
Oh yeah.
Her name is Joanna Sotomura. I follow her on Instagram too. And
what
then
else
Brent
was
Bailey.
She in?
I don't know what else she's in. Let's see. I'll have to look it up later. But she's super adorable. And anyway, but she and Brent actually were dating like during the filming.
Oh, were they?
That's cute. Like they're not together anymore. She's married to somebody else, but I just remember like being so excited like watching it because I'm like, oh my god, they're dating. And so like and their chemistry was like, wasn't their chemistry good?
Yeah, it was really cute. That was one of the fun parts of watching it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And then adorable. Also the same thing with her at first. I think this is maybe why I didn't get into it. At first, I thought she was going to be, they were really playing up the bratty side of Emma as well. But then as it goes, you kind of see it's more of just like, she's headstrong and she's like, if I think something's the right, I'm going to make it work. And then you see how she's like really sneaky to make things happen. Like when she's trying to get Churchill, she's trying to get in touch with Frank Churchill and she like calls his assistant or whatever, because he's like a big businessman. And she's like, oh, I can't get a hold of him. Like he's busy. Okay. And so then she sends his assistant the gift to be like, just, thank you for helping me. But like you find out that the way she knew exactly what to get her so that the assistant would be on Emma's side and help her out is like she stalked her Instagram and saw exactly what she liked, and it's just like these little things where I'm like, oh, that's funny. Like that's clever and resourceful. And I like that side, Yeah.
Well, and they were really clever. Like the writing in this to like incorporate like this is crazy. So they make Emma a matchmaker where she has a business called Emma Approved, and then Mr. Knightley, who is in the same sense is her sister's husband, so her like brother-in-law in the same sense of Emma, the story, and he is basically kind of like her like what do you call it? Like he does all the boring stuff, like the accountant, like the numbers and all of that, and like kind of keeps her in line. Super cute.
And then smart, like, because that shows him being like, be serious about things, you know, because he kind of has to make them successful.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it starts off with like with the same way that Emma starts off with. It starts off with her name is Annie Taylor in this one, but this is with the equivalent of Miss Taylor getting married. And then in this one, they have kind of this whole like dramatic thing of like where she wants to cancel the wedding. And then Emma's like, oh my God, no, like you can't cancel the wedding. And then anyway, but it ends up like working out, and it's just like really cute. But she's like a lifestyle coach and matchmaker. Harriet ends up hiring Harriet as her like assistant. And so like that's kind of how that works, which works really well in this because, you know, Harriet in, you know, the Regency period, she's, you know, quote unquote below her. So to try and make that same spin in the modern world, it's like, oh, make her assistant.
Then have that dynamic of like boss to employee. I thought that was really smart.
Yeah. Super cute. But did you like Harriet?
I did. I thought it was cute. She kind of I don't know, like Harriet's character I think is hard because you don't want somebody to like be annoying, but you also want to play up like the insecurities or like maybe her lack of making her own decisions and things like that. So there were some times where I was kind of like found myself a little annoyed with is her name Annie? No, not Annie. They call her Harriet, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. I sometimes was like kind of a little annoyed with her character, but then I thought she was really cute too. And so I liked that, you know?
Yeah. Super cute.
And I thought it was just clever. Like it was funny to see how they would come up with the different scenarios. Like I loved how Robert Martin was the IT guy.
I know. Isn't that perfect?
It was so funny. So funny.
He's like a dork and like they call him like B Mart, you know?
I thought that was so clever of like, okay, if there's like somebody that's going to be like, oh, he does that for a living, like the IT guy is just the funniest one to make that stereotypical of like, guy, cool. So he eats Cheetos and plays Dungeons and Dragons. Nice.
And like they added like these like silly things where he like he plays poker and he won like a tournament and he got like a year worth supply of nacho cheese and like
it's so funny. But I loved the scenes that they did with Harriet and Robert Martin. Well, they just call him Martin in that because they're just really cute. So sweet. I like that one. I thought they did that well.
And adorable, and like the way that he asks her out is so funny with like the frames and like
like little nerdy flirting. It's just so cute.
It is super cute. But I just thought the IT guy is hilarious.
So funny.
I have a note on here. It says OMG when he says, I'm talking about Knightley, when he says, seriously, nice job. I have like hard eyes and then like drool.
Yeah, no, he's so cute. He really is just like the nice guy. Oh my gosh. They did good casting.
Wait, okay. I know. Yeah. Brent Bailey. Hi, what's your number? I just
really like him.
I know.
It's so cute.
He's just like so funny. I love it when Martin says, don't fix your own computer because what excuse would I have to come and see you when he's talking to you?
That was really cute.
Oh, so cute.
Did you think the guy that played Mr. Elton? Oh my gosh, I loved that correlation. How Mr. Elton in this one, he's a state senator. And they I know, right? I even wrote down. I was like, Mr. Elton would be a state senator. Typical judgy, better than you profession. Like
1,000%. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was very clever, and he looked like perfect state senator, like kind of a little smarmy.
having him be a sleazy politician, like perfect for him. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
The best parallel they could have come up with.
And also, okay, so you haven't seen the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, have you?
I haven't.
No. Okay. Well, we'll watch that in May. You'll love them.
I know. I'm excited.
So, okay. So Mrs. Elton in this one, they did a parallel actually, because that is actually Caroline Bingley from Lizzie Bennett Diaries.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So in Lizzie Bennett Diaries, it's the Lees instead of, so it's like Bingley is like, hi, I'm Bing Lee. And they call his name is like Bing, but his last name's Lee.
That is so funny.
So they made that parallel, and so it's Caroline Lee. But actually, like, I feel like if you mix characters, like Mr. Elton totally would want Caroline Bingley.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
It makes sense, right? Yeah, they're both awful, and like, yeah. So anyway, so that's like the parallel. So that you'll, when you watch the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that's her. Like,
that's so
crazy.
Funny. I
Isn't
like
that
funny.
A lot.
Yeah, this would have been a really fun project to be part of with the writing and everything. And it's just like so cute and really simple.
It is cute, and it's like really clever to do in modern day to try and kind of like figure things out. And I don't know, I really want them to do a Sense and Sensibility one, because I would love that. I can totally picture it too. Like, it would be like Eleanor, like, or, you know, vlogging, and you're like, okay, so we just had to move into an apartment because our dad died, like, totally sucks, you know what I'm saying? And so like, in order to try and like cheer everybody up, I'm gonna like start this video thing, and then you hear like Marianne like playing the piano like dramatically in the back, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I already have this all planned, where I'm like, okay, so Marianne is gonna like be really mad and go out on a run, and then she's gonna like, you know, and then that's where she meets Willoughby, and Willoughby like brings her to her part, you know. I don't know. I have like this whole thing.
Girl, do it. I have all the faith in you.
Okay, so let's see, what else do I have? And it's so sweet that like Martin got her a cushion for the keyboard.
Yeah. Okay, that's cute. I really enjoyed everything with Harriet and Martin in that one. I was like, they're so cute.
I know, they're funny. But whenever Knightley would get mad at Emma, I would just like cry.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, he just, I don't know how to describe it, but he was really good at like getting mad and arguing with her, but not being like mean or condescending, and kind of like building the tension that you felt for them. You know what I mean?
And the little things that he would add, where she would say something off the cuff, like saying like, I think she said something about him being cute, but in like an offhanded way. And then he like walked out the door. He's like, you just called me cute. And you're like,
yeah,
stop, Mr. Knightley.
Yeah. I think I liked it because, you know how, I mean, I think everyone has seen couples like this, and occasionally you've like been one of the couples like that, where it's like, why don't you date them? And you're like, no, we're just friends. Like, no.
Yeah.
You have those moments where you have an interaction with them, and in your head, you're like, oh, this is why people think we should date, because we're like having these cute moments. Or you see it with somebody else where you're like, why aren't they dating? They're clearly like compatible, and they have the banter and everything like that. They really did such a good job with Emma Approved of having that with Emma and Knightley, where there was like, we can see that you're not dating, but you guys really would be good to date, you know?
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
It's very
and it's
endearing.
like, yeah, I love that. And that's what I love about their relationship. I just feel like it's very healthy.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's not because they know each other so well. It's
not like those romantical movies where it's like tumultuous and turmoil and all this stuff, and then they choose each other in the end. With this one, it's like they have a good relationship
already, and then and then they're it's just super sweet. Okay, like I just was like so cringy, and it's supposed to be cringy, but with the whole like Emma like having like writing a song and then Harriet singing it for the senator, I was like, oh god. Like for Elton, I was like, oh my god, like poor Harriet, like this is so embarrassing.
That would be really
and
rough.
Then I love how Knightley was like, oh, you know that those words don't rhyme. She's like, shut up.
Yeah, that doesn't work at all, right?
Yeah, no, because it's kind of like when he says you've made her too tall, Emma, like in the drawing.
Yeah, that's so funny.
You know, so funny. I love that. And I love that, like, it's called Highbury Group, like her with like, we have the Highbury Group and it's our little boutiques and businesses. Like,
yeah, I liked that a lot. And like, just
cute.
the Frank Churchill and like his businesses and Mr. Elton being the senator and like all the different parallels of the gentleman and what they would like do to be employed and stuff like that. I just really liked that. It was good. And then I really loved the end when Emma and Knightley are finally together. It's really cute.
Isn't it like
cute?
Oh my gosh, like I just cry. It's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. I'm glad you told me to watch that one because it was definitely enjoyable. It was much longer. We were joking before we started recording that it took us so much longer to finish it than we thought. We kept being like, wait, I'm not done. I need to finish. Oh wait, I'm still watching it.
I know. It did. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So we'll prepare better when we do the Lizzie Bennet one.
But it's funny. So if you're gonna watch it, don't think you can watch it in one night because it is like hours and hours. But each episode is just a few minutes, so you can like watch as many as you want and then go on. It's really cute though.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love like the scenes where it would be like after Mr. Elton like was like, oh, but I liked you, not Harriet. And then like she gets mad and he leaves. And then Mr. Knightley comes in and he's like, hey, like, what's wrong? And she's like, I failed. And then like she goes into his shoulder. Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. Really sweet moments. And that's why we love Knightley
so much. Didn't you love Maddie Bates?
Yes.
So cute.
Yes. It took me a second to be like, Maddie Bates. Yeah, really cute.
She with her jams.
I thought that was so clever.
I know. Yeah. I just think it's like so cute. So cute. Yeah. Yeah. So, but what else did you like about it, like any other parallels that you thought were really funny?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I have to rewatch it now.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Like, I want to rewatch it. I don't know. I really liked I mean, we already said like the dynamic between Emma and Harriet in it, but I just thought it was like a funny continuing thing like throughout how she was always trying to like get Harriet to act how she wanted her to, you know, and just how that dynamic I thought was so funny, like really hilarious.
It was sweet. I also loved that like Jane got a computer and flowers instead of like a pianoforte from Frank.
Oh yeah, I thought that was clever.
Yeah, super clever. And then like the box, like instead of like the Box Hill Picnic, it was like the Box like new restaurant that was opening that they were like throwing a party for. It's just like really clever, like all these little things that they like did. Like, and then Frank like saving Harriet from her car breaking down and like just those little things.
Did you like Churchill in this one?
Yeah, I thought he was fine. He was just very like, he seemed very like frat boy snooty. I don't know, like very I could totally see like him being like the talk of the like, you know, very
like
popular.
Everyone being like really impressed by him and talking him up and then meeting him and being like, okay, this is a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
I liked that. I kind of I don't know, I guess I expected Churchill to be a little meaner in this one, but I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah And it was good that Jane was like all about, because I know in the other one they make her accomplished with like her piano playing, because that was like back then that was like more of what, you know, but she's like super hard worker and like with a good person like to like, you know, that Emma like wants to be and all of that. So that was good. That was
I know.
Good.
I always think it's such an interesting way that they portray Emma's dislike of Jane Fairfax, and in this one I liked it. I thought it was a really good depiction for like the modern version of it. I liked that.
Yeah, it was
and
good.
I actually really liked Jane in it. I thought she was really good, like well portrayed and fun. So
yeah, so it's a cute little thing. It's really clever. Like I just really like all of the parallels.
And it's also really aesthetically pleasing as well. Everything's like really cute and pretty and all of that. So it's kind of
and she has like in that sense. Yeah, and Emma has like a fashion blog too, so she's like always dressed super cute and like
it's cute. It's a good one. So
it is a good, so definitely watch it. It's adorable. So you're gonna fall in love with Brent Bailey. I stalk him on Instagram. It's fine.
I'm gonna stalk him now too because I need some more of that face.
I know. Anyway, he's a cutie pie. Cute. I just love his acting. So anyway, but I think, so we're at like 1 hour and 9 minutes. So that's pretty good.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, should we talk about our little wrapping up things and then?
Yeah. And then call it a night on this Valentine's Eve.
Yeah.
Day, I mean, sorry.
Valentine's night. You guys, I mean, we are so dedicated to this podcast.
Let's start with should we start with our lows?
Oh yeah. Let's do the lows. I was just saying we're like so dedicated to this podcast that even when the Super Bowl's on, we record for you. When it's Valentine's Day, we record for you guys.
I know.
We love you.
Yes, we do. We love you guys. Sorry, you like cut out for a minute, so I was like waiting to get me caught up. I was like, wait, hold on, what happened? So
fine.
It's obvious that we're single. It's Valentine's Day. It's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So single. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So should we start with our lows, you think?
Yes, let's do the lows so we can end with a high.
Okay. Cool. You can go first.
Okay, so my low, you guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you and say it. My low this week is that it is Valentine's Day. I usually really love and enjoy Valentine's Day, whether I'm dating somebody or not, and it's fine. Like I like it. This year it was a little hard, mostly because last year was hard, and then I just am feeling extra single today, and so I tried to like fight it off, and then this morning I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna have a down Valentine's Day, and that's okay, it's fine. Like, so that's my low light. I'm not really excited or happy that it's Valentine's Day this year, but
I'm really not either. Last year was a really bad Valentine's Day for me too. It was horrible. Terrible. Like he sent me flowers and they accidentally sent 2 dozen. He had been acting super weird all week and then sends me 2 dozen flowers on accident. Of course, he only meant to send me 1 dozen. Then the next day asked to FaceTime and says that the Holy Spirit's leading him in a different direction.
So you got picked up to throw down. That is not nice.
Very Frank Churchill of him to do that. So it was very odd.
Awful.
I was like, you just sent me flowers.
You don't send me flowers to break up with me.
I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I was like, what the heck? And he was like, I wanted you to have a good Valentine's Day.
Well, that's a mixed signal. Like, that's confusing.
I was like, no, you should have sent me a heart-shaped freaking pizza because then I could have eaten it. It would have been gone. These flowers are going to be in my apartment for like a month.
Did you throw them out?
No, because I love flowers and I love pink.
I would have totally thrown them out.
They're just in my apartment, and then quarantine happened, so it was like, oh my god, like.
Oh yeah, that's rough. That's a double hit right there. Well, I was supposed to Okay, let's just compare stories. Last Valentine's Day. Last Valentine's Day was also, it falls onto a long weekend, and the guy I was dating, he wanted to do like a snowboarding trip with his friends, and he was like, well, we already like planned that trip because they had done it like a couple years prior. They would take that long weekend and go snowboarding, and I was kind of like, well, I know they do that, but it's also Valentine's weekend, so, and like, you're dating me this year, you weren't last year, so like maybe we could do something. But he wanted the best of both worlds, and he like wanted to have it all. So he's like, well, let's do the snowboarding trip and you guys you come with us. And I was like, I don't snowboard. And also I was taking classes at the time. And so I had a whole bunch of homework. Like I was working full time and taking classes. And so I was like, literally, if we do this trip, you're going to be snowboarding all day. And I'm going to be like in our Airbnb doing homework.
Yeah.
And then we're going to hang out.
Friends.
Yeah. Okay. Claudia. Right. So I was like, going to be the tag along. And he's like, well, just like invite friends and stuff. And I was like, well, I'll try to, but they all had plans. And he wanted to go to Whitefish, which is in Montana. And it's a 5-hour drive from here. And I had never driven there on my own. And it was freaking the middle of February and there were supposed to be bad roads. And then my car started having issues and I had to get it fixed. And I was like, I'm not driving there by myself through a snowstorm. Like, this is just awful. And he was like, so not okay with me not showing up to this trip. And I was like, well, okay, if it doesn't work out this weekend, it doesn't work out. And like, that sucks. But like, I just was like so stressed about it and I didn't feel very settled going by myself. And so I didn't want to go. And then I was like, I'm going to be kind of annoyed if I'm there the whole time. And when I want to spend time together, there's like a bunch of guy friends around and he like has to pay attention to them. So it was that. And then that whole Valentine's was like kind of awkward because he wanted me to be there and I told him I wasn't going to go. And he was like, mad. Okay. But here's the thing. He was supposed to propose to me that weekend. And like later when I found out, I was like, you were going to propose to me on a guy's trip? Like, are you kidding me? It was the worst. It was the worst. So I didn't think about it that much until this week. And then I was like, I'm like so mad. Like every day I'm just like processing like last year's experience. And it's just like not easy. It was really rough.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing. If he was going to propose to you that weekend, he would have like worked harder to get you there.
I know. It really is confusing.
Like he would have been like, oh, let me buy a train ticket for you. Take the train.
Right. Or like, I'll fly into Spokane and drive with you there, you know?
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like, let's meet for lunch halfway or something. Like,
and even like later when we were talking about it, I was like, well, why wouldn't you like tell my friends? Like he was friends with several of them. And why couldn't he reach out to them and be like, I really need you to like help get Bethany there, you know?
Yeah.
Cause he knew, I was like, if I can get somebody to drive with me, I'll totally go. But I don't want to make that drive by myself, you know? So there were like a lot of things that to me, I was like, that's crap. But he was like, well, you didn't want to like turn up on the weekend that I was planning to propose. And I was like, yeah, because it didn't make sense. I didn't know you were going to propose that weekend, but it didn't like, it wasn't the safest decision to drive there by myself in bad conditions.
Why would you want to go? Why would you want to go and be with a bunch of guys? Like,
yeah,
like you feel like it's an awkward position to be in because you're like, you just feel so.
I felt like all weekend I was going to be the demanding girlfriend, like, pay attention to me, stop hanging out with your guys.
Yes.
And then they would be like, well, this is a guy's trip, you're invited on it. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been weird.
That is so weird. That is a weird thing. Why would he propose to you during like a guy's weekend? That's bizarre.
I don't think that makes much sense, but he thought it was a really good idea. So I don't know.
I can't. Men are weird. Okay. My low is I just need like 2 days, you guys, to like sleep, and then I need a day to clean my apartment.
Oh my gosh. And you've had such a busy week, so you have not gotten that.
No, it's okay.
Aww.
But yeah, I just am like, I'm tired. I'm like, I just need to like, So anyway, but that's my low, but that's okay. It's not the worst thing ever. It's okay. We're making it through.
Yeah, you will make it through, but that is also a tough one.
Yeah, I know.
That is not easy.
No, it's not. It's not. But yeah, it's okay. I just want a couple of days off and that's it. But but then I say that and then I have a couple of days off and then I'm like miserable because I'm like, I need to be busy. So it's just like it's just a whack thing. It's just a whack thing. I don't know.
It's sometimes really hard to motivate yourself to do the routine things that you need to do, of just being like, I'm just going to go to bed on time. I'm just going to clean my kitchen.
I know.
There is to it.
I know. It's hard. It's very hard. Very hard. Okay. So then our highs this week.
So my high is that I've been working out a lot and I'm getting like some really good definition in my legs and my butt looks really good. So there's that.
Yay. I love it. I love it. I've been working out a lot too. So, and I definitely like can tell. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, I'm skinny today. You know, I can like, tell, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You totally like can see your body changing and being like, where I normally would need to suck it in, I'm not needing to suck in as much anymore.
I know. It's great. It's like so fun. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Good.
That is really fun. Yeah.
What's yours?
So my high is I just really like my cat. I think she's so cute. And she's like always like, she'll like walk around and like just meow and like I'll like meow back and I'll talk to her and like I don't know. She's just, and then she'll always like if I'm laying down, she like hops up and like sleeps on me and like I don't know. And she's hard to like leave in the morning too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm sure that is just like the best when you get home to have a little cuddly buddy.
She is. Yeah. She's very like, she's always like right at the door, like meowing at me. Like she's like greets me like a dog, you know? So yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah. She's adorable. So I love it.
That's a good one.
I love it. Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. Well, next week we're going to watch my favorite version of Emma.
A good one.
2009 version. With series. Yes, Ramona, what's her face? I always forget her name, but I love her.
I do too. She's great though.
Yeah.
We'll remember it for next episode. We will say her name right.
Yes, we will. But 2009 version, oh, I love it. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant one. Really I think because it's a mini series, and so that's why it's good.
Yeah, because they can get all of the good details in.
Yes. Yes. I feel like this one really combines all of the elements of Emma and makes it into like this perfect mix of everything.
Yeah. You know? I'm excited for it. I'm glad that that's next week.
I know. Yeah. It'll be good. Okay. Well, thanks for listening again.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're doing our devotionals, which are fun. I'm enjoying them. So
they've been really fun. It's been good. So,
it's been good.
Yeah. And if you have for the other months coming up with the different videos with the different books that we'll be reading and stuff like that, let us know what your favorite versions are and let us know how you're doing reading Emma. Just send us the things. We love hearing from you guys.
Yeah. So you can send us voice messages. You can always message us on Instagram or Facebook. You can also support us if you want to support the podcast with like monthly donations and all that. So it's all just in the link of our wherever podcast platform you're listening to. So
yes, finding the link in our bio. And thanks so much for listening.
Yay. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Cool.
Okay, recording's turned off there. And
bye YouTube.
Bye YouTube. See you next time.
Bye.